March is a system that's worked. There's only been a handful of times in this country's history when the person who lost, if you will, the national election actually won the electoral vote.
All right, Hunter Turner has a question for you.
Professor Thompson, I got a quick question. We talk about this all the time. President Obama, as the incumbent presidential candidate, obviously has a bit of a lead. Is this common for this time period in the election for a president with a struggling economy like it is now?
No, actually not. If the economy is struggling like it has been, oftentimes that's actually very bad news for the president. I wouldn't go so far as to say this is unprecedented, but it's very unusual for a president when you have for a sitting president, when you have a unemployment rate that's as high as the national unemployment rate is, which is about what I believe 8.1% now. That they would actually be doing as well as they are. To be perfectly honest with you, it's kind of strange that you have that President Obama is in as good a position as he's in right now.
All right, Professor Jay Thompson from CF is with us. Let's talk about the race for a moment. Well, at least the presidential race. You get, depending on what poll you see, who's ahead. It appears as Obama at least has a slight edge, and in some places, some people are saying that he's gaining ground every day in the swing states. There's one report I read today saying basically that he's about to overtake Ohio. Of course, you know how those polls go, but at this point in time, everything is critical. To have 60 minutes come in and sit down with you for 30 minutes is a big get for any candidate. Last night, both candidates were on. I know you didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I saw about 75% of it, and we talked a little bit off the air about it. But based on the clips that you've seen, what were your impressions of the two candidates, and did either score a big point?
In terms of the interviews, I would say neither one of them really did much that's going to shift a whole lot of things. Basically, with that, we are hearing both of them very effectively. Now, whether or not it's helping them, but they both pretty effective in terms of ducking the questions that could cause greater controversy. And we're going to see this with the debates as well. They're both going to play almost in a way that prevent defense. They're going to play to not lose. I think that's a lot of what you saw last night with those 60-minute interviews. Given
that he's unable to reveal the details of his plan, and last night Romney was asked the question by Scott Pelley, what's the details of this thing? And I thought Romney had a pretty good answer for not having one, which was basically when you ask someone to partner up with you and come to a new conclusion, to a new platform or new ideas, new thinking, you can't hand them a list of rules and say, here they are. You have to ask their opinions. So Romney said, let me give you my core values, and let's get together and discuss and build around core values. Yet, I don't think either person has the answer, and we know they don't have the answer to the economy. So given that situation, is it a beauty contest right now?
I actually don't think of it as a beauty contest. What I do see it as is you are seeing two and the campaigns have made this clear too, you're seeing two very different core ideologies as to what the role of government is in the economy, how best to solve economic problems, how best to solve the debt issue. You have very stark differences between these two candidates. Now, what you're also seeing, to be perfectly honest, and this does play a role, is pure likability. You and I actually were discussing this off the air as well, that one of the problems that Romney has run into is that Obama has been able to write the narrative of Romney for Romney, and that's never a good thing. Unfortunately, politics, as I always tell my classes, politics, perception is reality, and the perception of Romney as an out-of-touch plutocrat is, it's sticking, and we are seeing that with a lot of these swing states. And the interview, or rather the tape that got leaked last week, only reinforced that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that clearly is going to be damning for for Romney, if he loses this, is his 47% remark. And he was asked about it last night, and he made a point, so I want to clarify that. I want to be president for 100% of the people. Is that just too little too late?
I don't know. I really don't know if it is too little too late. I mean, it goes to reinforce, as I said, that 47% remark goes to reinforce a perception that's already out there. Now, really the question is can Romney turn that perception around? You look at, I mean, if you were to look at the electoral map right now, it flat does not look good for Romney at all. The states that are leaning either strongly Democratic or leaning Democratic. You look at the total electoral numbers, and you're looking at close to 260 electoral votes, which means if the election were held today, Obama would only need to find 10 electoral votes.
Here's the
states.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Oh, that's good.
Here's the real investigative reporting that we need done. Okay, did you watch Mitt Romney today? Did you look at him? Did you see anything different about his face? And he looked awfully tan, according to a lot of people. And get this, the tanning mom, the one that became like a raisin, she says it's obvious that he used a bronze to appeal to Latino voters last night.
I have actually seen that now. Whether or not I'm even gonna,
there you go.
give that any credence, because we hear these things all the time, don't we?
Yes, we do. Inquiring minds want to know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, Jay, thanks a lot for your comments, and we'll get you on again before the election and talk about that. Thanks for educating us on the on the Electoral College.
Look forward to it.
All right, Professor Jay Thompson. He's assistant professor of political and social sciences and Hunter's professor. I don't know, yes. Connor. I'm not sure. What do you think, guys? You think you scored that question? What do you give him?
It was a well thought out question.
Okay, what do you give him, girl? What kind of Hunter?
I would give Hunter on that question probably A-.
Thanks.
B+.
I'll give you a B+.
Thank you.
Not your best, but not bad.
I will tell you this, though. I thought that the professor saying that my explanation of the Electoral College and how it was derived was spot on.
Well, it's definitely the highlight, Tom.
Highlight of the interview.
Because after all, we know everything's about you, so there you are. What you got, JJ? Okay. All right, time to take a break, return, and let's see what the big guy's got for us. He says he's got some kind of thing for us. I
got 3 stories that'll make you go, really?
Maybe cry. All right, 3 stories, and I've got some things that Grandma told us coming up next right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.7 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, I'm Buddy Martin here to tell you about some very exciting news for listeners to our station. It's called our Weekly Football Bonanza. 4 events over 3 days to celebrate the game of football we all love. A chance to get yourself in a football mood for the weekend. Starting Thursdays, we'll kick it off at Mark's Prime Steakhouse in downtown, where we'll broadcast live, and you can get your entries ready for our Pick 6 contest. Check out Football Friday and Community Day at Gateway Bank each week as we broadcast live from the Gateway Cafe. Then tune in WOCA Friday night for the high school football game of the week involving Marion County teams. And wrap it up with Football Saturday at Pie, brunch on Broadway at 10 a.m. as we get you ready for college football. Food, football, fun. Don't miss our weekly football bonanza on WOCA, 1370 AM, 96.7 FM, The Source.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
If you're a high school graduate looking for something more, the U.S. Air Force wants to challenge you. We're looking for candidates for 2 intense career fields: parachute specialists to rescue airmen in distress and combat controllers. First there in Air Force operations to set up airfields and communications. To find out more, call Sergeant Gerald Strauss at 352-629-9112 or log on to www.airforce.com/special ops.
Digital Graphics Reborn. Phoenix Graphics. When you need vehicle graphics, banners, t-shirts, window graphics, you need to call Phoenix Graphics at 368-2404. When you need building signs, vehicle wraps, yard signs, realty signs, business cards, you need to call 368-2404. Phoenix Graphics. Digital Graphics Reborn.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Jody Musto talks about hope.
I couldn't do just the simplest things with my son. I was upwards of 500 pounds. My pant size was a 64 waist. My doctor kept putting me on diets, and no matter what diet he put me on, I never seemed to lose any significant weight like I should have been losing.
That was everyday life. Then Jody discovered the Bariatric Center of Excellence at Monroe Regional.
But when I went into Monroe, I realized that there was still hope. Monroe has given me the opportunity to succeed. Me and my son, we get up, we go for a walk every morning. I'm walking because it's something that I haven't been able to do for a long time. What we had before was nothing compared to what we have now. Being able to really enjoy life with my family. My name is Jody Musto. I've lost 265 pounds, and Monroe is my hospital.
Watch Jody's entire story at monroeregional.com/myhospital.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. I'm so excited to be on in Ocala, where I visit twice a year because I have relatives in Ocala, and it's great that my show is on every evening at 6 p.m. right here on WOCA, The Source.
Right here since 1957. We're WOCA, News Talk 1370.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
This is JJ Lasov in the WOCA studios with this news update brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Foxconn Technology Group suspended production at one of its largest factories in northern China today following a violent incident involving 2,000 workers. Foxconn is a major supplier of electronic components to large U.S. companies including Apple and Microsoft. Foxconn reported that at least 40 employees were sent to the hospital and a number of individuals were arrested after police arrived at the scene. This news update was brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Listen to Angie. She joins Buddy every Thursday with her Biz Buzz or Good Neighbor Award.
Every time I turn around, another bad piece of bad news for Facebook. Now they're saying we got a bad virus in some of the Facebook postings on their timeline. So nothing has gone right for Mark Zuckerberg.
I'll give it 2 more years.
Well, tell you what.
Might not make that.
You may give him a lot longer than he's going to be there.
Yeah. So.
But hadn't he already made his money?
Well, yeah. No.
And if he was smart, shouldn't he just sell his stock options now and get out?
No, he doesn't have to. He's got plenty of money. And there's also one of his partners, by the way, who's from Ocala. So
there you go.
Found it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, not wishing anybody bad luck. Just saying, it's another day, another bad Facebook story. This is 3 Things Monday. You heard my 3 things about the Emmys, which I'll repeat later. Right now, Tom Schmitz has been on the case. He's got a crack investigative staff. He's going to give us his 3 things today.
I got a good story, a bad story, and an ugly story.
Which one do we want first?
Which one do you want first? Good, the bad, or the ugly? Okay, we'll go with the bad.
Let's go with the good first.
Yeah, let's always start with good news.
All right, well, this is, okay. Goodwill painting, bought for $9.99.
Goodwill
from the Goodwill store.
I was thinking about Goodwill
the
hunting.
Artist known as
I was thinking about Goodwill hunting. Okay, yeah.
Beth Feeback, she's a North Carolina woman, bought a painting for $9.99 from the Goodwill store. She wanted to use it as reuse the canvas to paint cat portraits, which are her specialty on. Her friend said, I'd check out who Isla Bolotowski is. That name sounds familiar to me. Well, she did. It's actually Vertical Diamond by Isla Bolotowski, and it sold this weekend at a Sotheby's auction for $34,375.
With the cat on it or not?
No, she didn't paint anything on it.
No.
The reason it first brought me to it, buddy, is it's a big diamond, and it's predominantly orange and blue.
Orange and blue?
Look, that's $35,000, buddy.
There's a lot of that in Gainesville.
A lot of that in Gainesville. So that's the good story. It's a bad story. America's dirtiest cities.
I saw this earlier.
Yahoo Travel put it out.
Yeah.
And I've been to all of these cities.
Should we guess at some?
I've been to all of these cities, and I don't agree with some of them.
Well, let's guess at some. All right, just because that means right off the bat you're going to be some on there that are not.
I haven't been to many cities.
I always put Newark, New Jersey on top of my list. Always.
Hey, I was going to say Camden, New Jersey, where my dad's from.
Not on the list.
Okay.
New Orleans.
New Orleans, number 2 on the list.
That was my next pick.
Philly.
Philly is number 6 on the list.
Detroit.
Detroit, not on the list. What'd you say, Hunter?
New York City.
Number 1 on the list. And I don't agree with that, buddy, that New York's the dirtiest city.
Because I remember you got 5 boroughs. Basically, downtown Manhattan is pretty good for the most part, but there are parts of it, like any city. But, okay. Who made this list, by the way?
Yahoo Travel.
Okay.
I love Atlanta, but it's probably on the list.
Number 5 on the list.
Yeah.
There's some parts of Atlanta.
Los Angeles.
L.A. on the list. Number 4 on the list.
What about all the smog in San Francisco?
Yeah, that's
nope, not on the list.
That's not dirty.
Let me give you the list.
Oh, wait. Give us a couple more here. Let me see. We try
everything. You've got number 1. You've got number 2.
Oh, we got 2.
You got 4, 5.
We're missing 3.
You got 6. You do not have 7, 8, 9, or 10.
Only because it's old Boston.
You do not have Boston's not on the list.
Okay.
Chi-Town,
not on the list, and it's a dirty city.
All right, final one.
Cleveland.
Not on the list.
I just looked up in the Browns.
Did you?
Not on the list. Number three, just north of the capital city of the United States, Baltimore, Maryland.
That's pretty.
That'd probably be on
That's
there.
a gross place.
Number 7 on the list, Dallas Fort Worth. That's a beautiful city.
Never been there.
Wow.
It's a beautiful city, buddy.
Pretty modern.
Number 8 on the
stockyards
list,
in Fort Worth, why not?
Miami, Florida. There's places in Miami that are dirty,
scary.
but
Very scary.
not. I don't think it's in the city of Miami. I mean, there's some places in Fort Lauderdale and
places in the city of Miami are pretty bad.
Number 9, this should be right up there with New Orleans, Memphis, Tennessee. It's a dirty city. It's a dirty.
So a lot of barbecue.
Number 10, which is another beautiful city, Houston, Texas.
It's just some ticky-tacky parts of Houston.
You know, there was a city I drove through about a year or so ago that I, just driving through it, thought it was gross. Kansas City.
Kansas City, Missouri is not that clean.
No, it's not. It's not on the list?
No, not on the list.
Right.
So that was the good. The bad was the dirtiest cities. Now the ugly.
Let's talk about some of the cleanest.
Ocala, Florida.
I would say Seattle. They get a lot of rain.
I heard Seattle's a nice place.
Except it rains.
San Francisco looks nice.
San Francisco probably.
Charlotte is a very nice town.
It has smog, but I mean.
Yeah, but smog is not dirty. Smog is just,
Charlotte's a very nice town.
Yeah, Charlotte's nice. Clean cities.
D.C. is actually a clean city.
Not so
because
much.
they keep the monuments and all as clean as they can.
I won't think of that as being clean. Let's see. Anybody else got one? What about
Portland, Oregon's pretty clean.
Yeah, Portland's pretty nice.
Portland's pretty nice.
I was there for the Rose Festival. That's really nice. Really nice there.
Sacramento's not a bad town either.
No.
I like Sacramento.
Sacramento is not a pretty place.
You don't like it?
Not a pretty place.
I like it better than I like San Luis.
Big time crime elements, whatever. It's just not a good place.
Well, that's the entire state of California.
The docks, too. They have another element there. Let's see, one more clean city. Come on, Hunter, give us something.
I enjoyed Boston for such a big
Boston.
city.
I like Boston. I just saw a movie, however.
St. Augustine's probably St. Augustine's very clean to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but a major city.
Has to be a major city.
All right.
You know what's a clean, pretty nice town is Nashville. Nashville, Tennessee does pretty good.
Lived there one time for a brief period of time.
Yeah. So that's the bad.
All right.
Now the ugly.
All right.
Anybody in here cat lover?
I am.
Besides me.
No.
I love cats because you don't have to pay them any attention.
But buddy, you're a
make
pet
you sneeze.
But you do like pets.
Not me.
I love pets. I just don't like
Let's
cats.
say you take your pet to the vet to get a flea dip.
A flea dip, like in a bowl of anti-flea stuff.
They make flea solution. They dip your pet in it. You take it there. You give them a flea dip. You sign the paperwork for to authorize them to do the flea dip.
All right.
You don't read the paperwork. You come back the next day with your other pet to give it the flea dip and pick up the pet that got the flea dip and find out they've euthanized your pet.
Whoa.
That's not good.
That is
That's horrible.
Your pet that is your pet because you took it after your daughter, whose pet it was killed in a car accident 8 months before.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
This is getting worse.
Yeah,
But I'm turning it off right now.
Well, that's what happened in Gardner, Massachusetts. A Massachusetts woman took her cat to the veterinarian for a flea bath. It was put to death. Colleen Cullen of Gardner was grieving the loss of an 8-year-old lady, which she attributed to negligence by her vet. The vet says, not our fault. We gave you the paperwork. You didn't read it. Yeah, we gave you the wrong paperwork, but you should have read it and caught it. You signed the paperwork that said we were to euthanize your cat, so we did what you signed for us to do. We killed your cat.
That's why you just don't click the update my iTunes.
Let me just say this. Well, we all do that. Who's ever read agreements on that side? Here's one thing. Can you say Judge Judy?
Whoa.
No. Which, by the way,
highest
you know,
paid person on
exactly.
TV.
So I think this is a candidate. Somebody will take that. Sure.
It's going to court because she's got a lawyer. She says that there was negligence, and there is precedence here to say the doctor may have had some negligence issues.
I would say
because he's been put on 1-year probation 2 different times for negligent issues. In 2005 for failing to follow his standards when he treated a dog's paw. And he was also given 25 hours of continuing education in veterinary medicine for another time that he was.
I suggest also give him a flea dip.
My question is, if the doctor had been twice cited for negligence, why are you taking your cat there to get a flea dip in the first place?
She didn't know.
You have to question, like, why are we killing this cat? He doesn't seem.
Wouldn't a vet?
You know, like, he just seems like he has some fleas.
Yeah, wouldn't a vet recognize the cat's in good health and everything and say, "Whoa, is something?"
Yeah.
Maybe,
I don't know. I guess you could just kill cats even if they're healthy. I guess.
Apparently so. All right, you guys know about
depressing.
You guys know about the revamping of the Today Show, right? What's been going on there and all
I've
the stuff.
not heard about that.
Problem you're getting hammered by Good Morning America.
I knew that.
It's flagging at this point in time. Apparently, according to the New York Times, according to Story Day, the guy, you watch Morning Joe? I don't watch that show. I don't watch it. But
CNBC or MSNBC.
Yeah. Apparently, Willie Geist apparently will become a new host on the Today Show.
What hour?
Well, it's going to be a co-host. He'll join Al Roker, Natalie Morales, and Savannah Guthrie. By the way, Savannah Guthrie, wrong choice. I'm sorry.
But that's after 9 o'clock because they got to break it up into 2. They break it up into 3 hours. They break it up into 4 shows. They break 3 shows: 7 to 9, 9 to 11, and then 11 to 12.
But Matt Lauer's on those first 2 hours.
Looking at pictures of Willie Geist right now.
I'm just saying right now.
It
does say 9 a.m. So you're right. So we'll
37.
See.
I watch the Today Show. It's my morning show.
My wife watches it too.
But the problem is, if he's going to be the 9 a.m. host, nobody in this area is going to see it anyway because the Today Show goes off the air at 9 and Kelly Ripa comes on.
Who, by the way, it's surprising that she makes as much money as she makes. Holy mackerel.
How about Strahan as her new co-host?
That's
crazy.
He's actually pretty good, to be honest with you. He's pretty good because he's not just one-dimensional. He's pretty smart. He's trying to find. He didn't get to talk much on his show, on the Sox show, because you got all those talking heads, Bradshaw and Jimmy Johnson and what have you. But he's a pretty smart guy, and he's got the New York connection. That's the thing for that show.
And he's got those famous front teeth, buddy.
He's got the gap teeth, exactly.
I'm just surprised they didn't try to give it to which brother is it? The one that plays defense for Tampa Bay and his twin brother,
Ronnie Barber.
Tiki. Trying to find something for Tiki to do on TV.
Yeah, Tiki's done. Tiki's done, I'm afraid. All right.
Savannah Guthrie, by the way, you're 100% correct. Not the right choice.
She just doesn't have it. A lot of other people. The woman, what's the girl's name on Good Morning America? She's very good on Good Morning America. I think the blonde, what's her name? We'll look up her name.
Lara.
She's pretty good. And they stole one of the women from NBC for the Today Show. So right now there's one on. All right, Robin Roberts out now. They're using other people on that show. We will take a break. Return to wrap up this hour of The Voice of Ocala, where we've not replaced anybody yet so far today. And we'll wrap up this hour. Coming up, Buddy Martin Sports Page at 5 o'clock. We'll have Mike DeRocco from ESPN Gator Nation and Franz Beard, plus 3 things about the Gators and around the water cooler. So stay tuned. Coming up next hour on this program right here on
1370 AM, 96.7 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. Use your computer or your smartphone and find us at WOCA.com, the source.
Here's
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks, no shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance, too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
For more information, call the McDonald Agency at 352-622-2333 or visit us online at themcdonaldagency.com.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
The heart of downtown Ocala is on the square, in more ways than one. Right there on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in all of Florida, if not the whole country. Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities to be experienced in a charming small town setting, all the while being treated to exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's premier restaurant serves prime beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From complimentary valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers a complete package for a dining experience you won't soon forget. Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood in beautiful downtown Ocala. Mark's, proud sponsor of Thursdays with Buddy Martin on the best front porch in Ocala. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. Listen to the Voice of Ocala right here weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
The heart of the county. We're WOCA, News Talk 1370.
Hi, this is Alan Taylor. Do you want to know what flowers to get your wife on your anniversary? Or which feminine product might be the next big thing? Then don't listen to my show, for God's sake. But if you're interested in the latest and greatest in the automotive world, then tune in every Saturday morning for Motor Trend Radio, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.7 FM, The Source.
The season of saving starts now at Ford Lincoln of Ocala and Bellevue on the best-selling lineup for the past 35 years. Ford's F-Series team, led by Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, F-150, starting at only $16,987. On offense, 12 hard-working 2012 Ford Super Duty models with a single goal: deliver performance and fuel efficiency that's no match for the competition. Score big and save big now on the entire line of 2012 Built Ford Tough F-Series trucks at Ford Lincoln of Ocala and Bellevue. View their entire playbook of savings at FordofOcala.com.
Marie Buckman loves to cook, but when Marie fell down her back steps, she suffered a severe compound fracture of her left arm. The ambulance rushed her to Monroe Regional, but still, Marie was afraid that her injury would mean that her cooking days might be over. They weren't. Before long, she was home and back to making the biscotti that everyone loves so much.
I was there for 4 days. I had 2 operations. Each time, I had the best of care.
There is a real quality difference in the care at Monroe Regional, and it matters.
When you have an accident like that, you want to go where you know you're going to get the best care. I have never been in a hospital that can compare with Monroe. And if I ever have to go in again, God willing, I don't break anything else, because I am a klutz, but I'll be right back there with the doctors I trust and the hospital that I trust. I'm Marie Buckman, and Monroe is my hospital.
Watch Marie's entire story at monroeregional.com/myhospital.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
All right, about 4 minutes to go here on the program before the Buddy Sports page. I want to wrap up this hour with things your grandma told you. Actually, this is...
Your grandma?
No, this is not my grandma. My grandma told me a few things, like don't close the barn door after the horse has been stolen. Things like that.
Did the horse come back?
No. It doesn't make... The horse is not going to come back. That doesn't do any good. That's what you call after the fact. But this is something from markandangelhack.com. And this particular writer brought out some of a dozen things, I'm not going to read them all, that his grandmother told him. And let's see if any of these resonate. Sometimes these get a little warm and fuzzy, a little soft, but let's see what happens. Here's one that says,
excuse me.
One that says, breathe in the future, breathe out the past. No matter where you are or what you're going through, always believe there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Never expect, assume, or demand. Just do your best, control the elements you can control, and let it be. Because once you have done what you can, if it's meant to be, it will happen, or it will show you the next step that needs to be taken. There's a certain amount of that in other philosophies, some of them spiritual, some of them otherwise. And even football coaches like to say, I can't worry about what the other guys are doing. Worry about what we're doing. And I think there's some truth in that. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes.
We think it's okay. Give it a rating.
It's pretty deep.
I'd give you about, on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give you about a 4 on that.
A 4, okay. All right, here's one. It's better to look back on life and say, I can't believe I did that, and to look back and say, I wish I did that.
Fact.
In the end, people will judge you in some way anyway, so don't live your life trying to impress others. Instead, live your life impressing yourself. Love yourself enough to never lower your standards for anyone.
See, Dad?
Fact.
See, Dad.
See, Dad?
That's what I always tell people.
I can live life and have fun. Thank you.
I live life for what I want to live it for, not for what other people think I ought to live it for.
I don't think that's the meaning of it, but go ahead. All right, here we go. 2 more. You're not who you used to be, and that's okay. You've been hurt. You've gone through numerous ups. And by the way, this guy had a literate grandmother.
Yeah, right.
You've been hurt. You've gone through numerous ups and downs that have made you who you are today. Over the years, so many things have happened. Things have changed your perspective, taught you lessons, and forced your spirit to grow. At times, time passes, nobody stays the same, but some people will tell you that you have changed. Respond to them by saying, of course I've changed. That's what life is all about.
Of course.
We like it?
I love that one.
You love that one. JJ likes that.
I enjoy that a lot.
All right. So far, which is your favorite one? 1, 2, or 3?
2.
3.
You're not. All right. So Tom says you're not what you used to be. That's okay. JJ says everything that happens helps you grow, even if it's hard to see right now. Right?
No. You
Other way around.
Oh, I'm sorry. Other way around. Okay.
Better
Look back and say. Right.
That's what I think.
All right. Here's 4. Do not educate yourself to be rich. Educate yourself to be happy. That way, when you get older, you'll know the value of things, not the price. In the end, you'll come to realize the best days are the days when you don't need anything extreme or special to happen to make you smile. You simply appreciate the moments and feel gratitude, seeking nothing else, nothing more. There you go.
But cash does make you happy.
You don't need any more. You reach that state of eternal bliss, Tom, like you so often are when you feel good about yourself and love you some Tom, right?
I still need some cash.
All right, coming up next, we're going to cash in on Buddy Sports page. Stay tuned right here to the program on
1370 AM, 96.7 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, I'm Dr. Terry Compton, inviting you to join us on the Voice of Ocala to discuss a painful subject, pain, not a one-size-fits-all pain, because pain is very personal and comes in all forms. That's why we need to talk about where you're hurting, and we can find out why. Then I can recommend ways to help deal with it, whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, the psychological pain of loss, or the pain of physical injury. And when we define your pain, we can begin looking for ways to treat it. Did you know that a lack of vitamin C can cause severely excruciating pain? So listen to my new show, Dr. Terry, on the first Friday of each month, live from Gateway Bank at 3:30. We're all in this together. There's a better way of living. Let me help you find it on the Dr. Terry Show.
Tune in and join Dr. Terry the first Friday of each month right here on The Source.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports. From NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source. You know about Brunch on Broadway at Pie, right? Every Saturday at 10 a.m., Buddy and I broadcast Buddy's Sports Page live from Pie on Broadway. Now I want to invite you to Crimestoppers, Ocala's beer festival, also at Pie on Broadway. It begins at 2 p.m. Saturday, September 29th. Go to pieonbroadway.com for the details. But wait, there's more. It's football season, and that means tailgating. Pie is your tailgating headquarters. They offer platters to go and packaged beer. Pie will host your party as well. So whether it's Saturday brunch, Crimestoppers, tailgating, or you just need a place to party, Pie on Broadway is your answer. Also, add Pie as a friend on Facebook to see all their daily specials, or log on to pieonbroadway.com for details on all upcoming events. And Buddy and I will see you at 10 a.m. on Saturdays for Brunch on Broadway at Pie.
Hey, Larry, nice haircut.
Oh, thanks, Robin. Looks like you had something different done, too.
Yes, I did. Thanks for noticing. I went to Lupe at Merle Norman on the Boulevard for a fresh cut, some summer highlights, and a facial.
No kidding. That's who I go to. I didn't know she did all that.
She does coloring, waxing, styling, updos, microderms, and she does it all for prices that won't break the bank.
Sounds like you can take the whole family there.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Hi, this is Lupe. Let me be your personal stylist. To set up your appointment, call me today, 426-1229.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills, just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
And now to our tribute series.
Hey, what a crowd. I tell you, I went to work and I got fired. Then got home, I got firing. I tell you, I love my wife. She told me to show her someplace she hasn't been. So I took her to the kitchen. She showed me the cockroaches. I tell you, I get no respect. No respect. My wife told me to go to the kitchen and stand there. I said, why? She said to scare the bugs out. I tell you, my wife, she says I'm a crab. I told her to check the lawn. There's crabgrass all over it. Hey. Last week I told my wife we needed a loan to get the pests out of the place. She gave me $1,000 to leave. You know, I get no respect. I called 911. They put me on hold. So I called Turner Pest Control. They answered. What a crowd. Thank you. Yeah.
Turner Pest Control has been guarding against pests since 1971. Locally owned and operated. For a free in-home inspection, visit turnerpest.com and find Turner Pest Control on Facebook. Call your local Ocala Turner Pest Control at 352-216-7473.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Now, I'm Joan Bennett. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has appealed to Muslims to show dignity and not resort to violence as they protest an anti-Islam film produced in the U.S. Many iPhone users aren't happy with the new Maps application that replaced Google Maps. Now, Apple's scrambling to hire rival Google's former map experts to fix the problem. Condolences poured in from around the world as the National Zoo in Washington awaits word on why a 6-day-old giant panda cub died this weekend. The cub had an abnormal liver and fluid in its abdomen, but cause of death won't be known for another 2 weeks. Amtrak will try to break the speed limit this week in the Northeast Corridor on its Acela train. The rail service will operate test trains overnight at 165 miles an hour in 4 stretches from Maryland to Massachusetts. The Acela may one day have regular 160-mile-per-hour service. This is ABC News.
Hello. Eyes on the road, I'll talk, you drive. Just wanted to pop in to remind you that every Honda-certified used car comes with an outstanding limited warranty. And you know what they say about outstanding limited warranties. They're outstanding. Anyway, just letting you know in case you were thinking about upgrading. And if you're not thinking about it, you should be. Honda-certified used cars are awesome. And you do like awesome, don't you? Of course you do, because you're awesome. All right, I'm out of here. Oh, and see your Honda dealer for limited warranty details.
An ounce of prevention, 5 quarts of oil, another year on the road. However you measure car care, get more at Midas. For just $19.99, Midas will change your oil and visually check your brakes, tires, belts, and more. All just $19.99. A small price to help keep your car running longer. Midas. Total car care. Total customer care.
Up to 5 quarts conventional oil, taxes and shop fees extra. Most vehicles at participating Midas.
How much time? 30? 30 seconds? I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around. And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here. Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, here is time for Buddy Sports Page on a Monday. We've got rid of JJ. Now we can really talk. Tossed him out of here, threw him out of the control room.
We just don't get him to gloat about Miami beating Georgia Tech. That's what I'm glad about.
There's so much gloating you take on that. I mean, really.
We can gloat about Florida beating Kentucky pretty soundly.
Well, not too much. I'll tell you why in just a minute. But, I mean, yeah, for sure. It was. I'll tell you, we did our picks over the weekend, and we haven't revealed all the results yet. I
know that I lost to Laura Klein.
You know, the man just wants to get it out front, doesn't he, Hunter? Just wants to get it out front. He mans up. I'll give him that. He was 6-0 last week.
He was.
Dude,
I went 2-3-1 and lost to the female intern of the group, Laura Klein.
Nothing against Laura Klein. She's a very smart young lady.
She's very well versed in sports, by the way.
Yeah, she is. And just go. This illustrates my point. Who would ever seriously wager on football? I mean, think about it.
Especially right now.
If I would have taken your picks and I said, okay, I'm going to put $100 a game on this, or some kind of wacky parlay with 6 wins, I mean, a parlay of 6 wins would set you up for a while.
If you'd have made a $50 parlay bet, you'd have been good for a while.
Yeah, and so now you think, I'm pretty good at this. I know what. So I'm going to go out now this week, and I'm going to lay it all on my picks, and I'm going to go 2-3-1.
You end up like John L. Williams.
Giving it back. Yeah. You end up like
John L. Williams owed $26 million to the
not John L. Williams. No, it's the quarterback, Vince Young.
I thought John L. Williams.
No, it's Vince Young. John L. Williams never got $26 million.
I thought the coach at Arkansas.
Oh, John L. Smith.
John L. Smith. Excuse me. John L. Smith.
John Williams is running back.
John L. Smith is in.
Yeah,
he's in debt for $26.5 million.
And Vince Young just spent his $26 million.
John L. Smith just owes it there, buddy.
Yeah, and Hunter still got his $26 million.
It's read somewhere. I need to find it.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, that's why you just. I mean, and here I'm watching the games this weekend, and I'm thinking I'm feeling pretty good. I backdoored the Clemson thing. I was 3-0 on the side. I'm thinking pretty good. Hey, I know something here. I got 3-0, so I'm thinking, well, I just got to get a little bit lucky, and I got to win at least 2 of these games.
I'm talking about backdoored the Clemson game.
Oh yeah, no question about it. No question about it. And so that's why you can't bet on it, because it's not who wins, it's actually who covers. And, of course, E.J. Manuel took a slide, and that saved the day there, or he'd have been in for a touchdown.
I texted JJ. I said, who slides in that situation? JJ says, Jimbo Fisher knows the spread. He's got money on the game.
Yeah, right. So anyway, what happens there, you go 3-0. Now you got the Jets game, Jets and Dolphins. I said, I know something now. Now, I went ahead and I took the old rule, bet the home dog in the NFL, right? So I thought I'd get me some Miami.
That was a great bet.
Yeah, and I thought that's a pretty good bet. And I get Peyton Manning at home at 2 points. That's pretty good. So get down to the game, and, of course, the Jets are ready to give it up. I mean, let's face it, the Dolphins dominated pretty much the whole game. They come back, they tie it up. The Jets, the Dolphins have to come back to tie it 20-all, and then they have a winning field goal, which they miss. 47-yarder, though, wasn't a gimme. No. And now the Jets got the ball. They drive down. They're ready to kick the winning field goal, and it gets blocked.
Miami blocks it.
But wait! Miami had a timeout.
And they took it right before they blocked the kick.
Yes, and of course, then they kicked it, and they win, and I pushed, I should say.
Well, that can't be any worse than you have to feel if you're a Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, it was
their
bad.
Coach, on 4th and 1 from the 7, he's got to kick a field goal to send the game into a double overtime.
Right.
Goes for it. They don't make it. The game's over, and then he says, we really weren't going for it. I wanted to just try to draw them off sides. I didn't mean for them to run a play.
Matthew Stafford didn't get that
No,
message.
it wasn't Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford was injured in the game.
Oh,
Stewart was his backup. Matthew Stafford was injured.
Maybe that's why.
So he said it was miscommunication.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. I mean, you might want to make a friendly wager once in a while, but I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely, you'll go nuts. I mean, you would go insane betting on football if you did all the time.
I got a friend of mine bets on it every
bet.
week.
Now, here are some things I will talk with Mike DiRocco about coming up here in the next few minutes, too. I've got at least 3 questions about the Gators. I'll give you a couple of them right now. We'll pick up the others later on. Is Jeff Driscoll for real? I mean, he has played the best football probably of anybody on that team the last 2 games. And even the color analysts started to say, hey, this guy's real. He's playing as good a football as anybody has in the league. Driscoll is he's not turning it over. He's making good throws most of the time. He's become a really nifty runner, can get you big yardage. I don't know what his total yardage was, but add up his passing and his running, and had to be pretty good. So the question is for Jeff Driscoll, though, can he stand up under the heat of the bright lights? That's going to be a real test. And one other one before I take a break here. Is Andre DeBose really worth it? When you have to bench a guy the first half because he didn't practice right, that tells me he's dogging it. Andre DeBose has got amazing, amazing talent. No question some NFL team will get him to return kicks or punts, without a question. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't think the man knows how to run a pass route. He's had, 3 years at it now? He can't run a pass route, apparently, or you get him the ball. Maybe they should be running in the jet sweeps with Andre DeBose for a change. I don't know. So those are 2 questions I want to pose, and I've got 2 others or 3 others. In the meantime, don't go to sleep on the Florida Gators. At the same time, don't go to sleep on who they play. They've got a horrible schedule in October. I'll tell you about that. A lot more coming up next. And we talk to Mike DiRocco via ESPN Gator Nation right here on Buddy Sports page on
1370 AM, 96.7 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. That's right. You can now get us on the computer or on your smartphone by logging on to WOCA.com. The source.
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range, and we usually hide somewhere in a neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source. If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, it's our business to make your business better. Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
WOCA.
Yes, George?
I can't get the car started, and I need to get to Devon Self-Storage in Ocala and unclutter the garage.
Oh, George, don't worry. Devon Self-Storage in Ocala has a free move-in truck now. Just ask for John or Michael. They will gladly help you. George, you better call 352-873-0777.
Oh, thank you, Alice.
Say hi to Gordy for me.
Yes, I will, Alice.
George, with Devon Self-Storage in Ocala, your life just got easier.
Yes, Alice, yes.
You need extra cash? Who doesn't? In a moment, I'm going to tell you how you can get extra cash by selling the stuff you no longer use. Think of the space you'll save and the cash you'll get from selling spare furniture, your last TV, kids' clothes, old cell phones, bicycles, lawnmowers, microwaves, even washer and dryer sets. What I'm talking about is OcalaForSale.com, the best place to buy and sell in Marion County. Click OcalaForSale.com to place a classified ad and turn your overcrowded garage and cramped closets into cold hard cash. OcalaForSale.com, bringing buyers and sellers together.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
For a man, the quality of his sleep from the night before affects how he treats his spouse the next day. For a woman, how she interacts with her spouse during the day affects how she'll sleep that night. Bread and rolls, they happen to be the #1 source of sodium in our diet. Bread and rolls. Too much Facebooking makes you unhappy. The people with the most friends feel depressed by Facebook most often.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Do you have any information about any crime or any wanted person in Marion County? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can pass along this information anonymously by calling Crimestoppers at 368-STOP. This is an unrecorded, totally anonymous phone line with no caller ID. Or you can go to OcalaCrimestoppers.com. You may receive a reward of up to $1,000. Step up and do the right thing for your community. Remember, we don't want your name, just the information at Crimestoppers.
Welcome back to Showtime. Now to go out to Gainesville/Jacksonville, somewhere in North Florida, where the man who covers Florida Gator football for ESPN Gator Nation is going to report to us on what this team is all about. 4-0 again, looking down the schedule at Murderer's Row, and yet with a quarterback who looks like he might be the real deal. Mike DiRocco, is Jeff Driscoll the real deal?
Well, it sure looks like he's on his way to doing that, to becoming the real deal. I think, though, or I worry, people are going to look at this kid. The TiVo comparisons are already starting to flow. And the bottom line is he's made 3 starts. And he's going to have a game where he throws 4 picks and looks exactly like he is, which is a sophomore with very little experience. But certainly early returns look positive. They're better off at quarterback this year, certainly, I think, than they were the last 2 years.
Mike, we've talked a couple of times this year about the quarterback situation back when Driscoll and Brissett were battling for the job. I think I just made a one quarterback out of it. I think I call him Briscoe. That's probably what that would be. We didn't know this about this kid. He was a terrific high school player. I had no idea he was as good a passer as he is. And I really liked, I think I said to you last time, his composure. He carries himself into the huddle with a certain amount of confidence that I wish I'd have seen in John Bradley sometime, Yeah,
the thing about Driscoll is, and it's not like it was with Tebow or with Rex, Grossman, but he does have a presence about him, and it's starting to get, like the media's starting to pick up on it when he's in there in the interview rooms. You can kind of feel his presence a little bit. He's got, I don't want to say an aura because that's too cliche and that's not what it is, but when Tebow walked into the room, everyone paid attention to Tebow. When Rex walked into the room, everyone paid attention to Rex. And, it wasn't like that with John, and it certainly wasn't like that with Chris Leak, as good of a quarterback as he was. But Driscoll's starting to get some of that. And you can't be, you have to be a good player to have that. And it certainly looks like he's developing into one. And the players love him, the players respect him now. I was wondering if there was some sort of a problem with Quentin Dunbar. He had gone over to Brissett after Driscoll missed him in the opener, and Driscoll missed him again against Kentucky, overthrew him as a bad pass, and then came, Dunbar was pretty upset on the field. You could see it, but then Driscoll came right back to him, made a great throw. So, he's winning guys over that were maybe doubters of his when, they first made the decision.
Speaking of Dunbar, a guy we've talked about now for 2 seasons that we expect to show up and hasn't, apparently had a death in the family, one of his grandparents, and chose to stay and play, which I think they must have made a big thing out of in the locker room. It looked like they were making an effort to get him the ball, and I haven't seen Quentin Dunbar go up for a ball like that yet at Florida like he did in the end zone. That's what I want to see out of this guy.
Exactly. And you know what, buddy? I've been as critical of the receivers probably more than anybody else, or as harsh on them as more than anybody else that I know. But I'll say this, they're playing better. They're still not a great group, and there still isn't 2 or 3 guys that at the end of the year are going to have 50, 60 catches each. But, they're getting guys to step up. Dunbar stepped up. Solomon Patton has stepped up in a role as the jet sweep guy, made a great catch, against Tennessee, too. Hammond is beginning to step up a little bit. We're seeing more of Rafael Andradas and LaTroy Pittman on the field. We're starting to see these guys take the next step, and I really think as Driscoll grows, those guys' roles will obviously grow, and those guys will get a lot better and more consistent. And maybe by the end of the year, I'll have a different tune, than what I said at the beginning of the year when this group I called this group pretty much awful.
Well, and the irony of it is Aubrey Hill's gone, and the GA is coaching him,
Yes, Butch Hamden is the coaching. And, Brent Pease, I figured would help because of his work with the receivers at Boise State, and he's really a hands-on guy, so I figured he would help a little bit. And obviously, there's the old cliche, and for the most part it's true, that your quarterback makes your receivers. It's not the other way around. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that in this case where, Driscoll is clearly the guy who's clearly become their leader and clearly become a really solid starting quarterback so far in the SEC, and he's making the guys around him better. And that's usually the sign of a guy that's a pretty good player.
Yeah, and we don't know about Jordan Reed. He's got a concussion. It's not good news considering he had a bad one once before that we know of. But if they start getting the ball in the hands of these playmakers, and I'm not going to put Dunbar in that group yet. I mean, Frankie Hammond and others have got opportunities. But take Reed, Trey Burton, who, looked like he was a sprinter the last time he ran 80 yards. Omarius Hines, who's yet to be dialed in on, a guy that I think has got tremendous upside. If they get the ball in the hand, and I got to think Peace will, because he gets it. He's got the pieces of the puzzle there. I think he's just unveiling on one piece at a time.
I like that analogy there, that he's kind of unveiling it a little bit at a time, because I think that's what he's doing. I think he's getting everybody more comfortable in the offense as the weeks go by, and I think he's gaining more trust in these guys each week as the season goes on. And when he gains trust in those guys, that's when he's going to call their number. I think one of the biggest things about coaching at any level is not asking your players to do something they can't do, and recognizing what your players are good at and getting them to do the things that they're good at. That's what makes Bill Belichick such a great coach, is he understands what his defensive guys can do, and for the most part doesn't really ask them to do something that they're not capable of doing. Now, with Pease, I think the issue is we're not capable of throwing it 30, 35 times a game here. We're not capable of, Frankie Hammond isn't capable of beating guys, down the field They're using Frankie Hammond short. They're using Quentin Dunbar further down the field. They're using Omarius Hines further down the field. Recognizing what these guys are good at. Jordan Reed is a pretty good intermediate receiver. Recognizing what these guys are good at and getting them to do that has really kind of been the key for this offense to grow.
Plus, getting them to the ball on those jet sweeps. Frankie and...
and then Patton on the jet sweeps.
Patton, too. Do you get a new phone, Mike?
Did I get a new phone?
You got a new phone, didn't you?
Well, I got a new... Why?
Because it sounds so much better.
It does better? I don't know. I think the last time we talked, I wasn't home. I think I was on the road, so this is probably why it sounds better. I'm at home, and wonderful reception here.
Sounds like a new phone to me. Anyway, it sounds good. So hopefully things will sound good for Muschamp, who, by the way, has a coaching moment at hand, as we talked about on our Saturday show. He has a lot to coach. After they looked very sloppy in places, obviously, and some things that they won impressively in the score, but they really should have won by more. Had he not made mistakes, he probably would have. And I'm sure that there was something left on the table for Will Muschamp to coach him about.
Yeah, and Kentucky was on its backup quarterback too. I mean, I think the big things they're working on this week is red zone offensive production, third down offense. They were 12 of 17 last week, which was. They had more third down conversions against Kentucky than they had going in the first 3 games. So they're working on that. They're going to work on their perimeter run defense. They kind of got bit by that a little bit last week. And they're going to work on, just general short yardage stuff, goal line stuff that they've kind of struggled with before. And you know what? They're going to heal up some guys, and that's pretty much, the main focus of this bye week. And he'll have plenty of stuff to talk about. I mean, you win 38-0, you think, wow, what a great game. But when you look at it and you see the mistakes and you see, the fact that they played a backup quarterback who may be one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen, there's a long list of stuff that he's going to get those guys' attention with this week. They're off today. They'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and then start game planning for LSU on Thursday.
Speaking with Mike DeRocco of ESPN Gator Nation. Mike, this is Tom Schmitz. You talk about how Driscoll looks poised and everything, and you talk about the good factors. The one thing that I saw on Saturday, though, was it took a while to get the run game. Once the run game got started, it was pretty good, but it took a while. They were in the first quarter. There was a couple of plays that were strung out. Not a couple, quite a few plays that were strung out, and that where running backs got less than a yard gain. Is that something that we're just going to have to get used to? It's going to take them a while to get the motor cranked up and get going, or should that be a concern?
Well, I mean, I think against Kentucky, some of the Kentucky players said, look, we knew they were going to take us for granted, so we really wanted to come in and show them. And that probably played a little bit of a factor in those first 2 drives. But, this offensive line, they praise it like it's, the best offensive line that's ever been at Florida. And it's better than it was last year, but believe me, it's still got a ways to go. And they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, Muschamp hinted that we may see a change at left tackle, and DJ Humphries may be ready to take the starting job away from Xavier Nixon for the LSU game. So they've got a ways to go. We're going to find out a lot about this team and a lot about this offensive line and the running game against LSU, because that front 7 rivals Florida State's front 7 is the best in the country.
That's so my next. Sorry, go ahead,
October 6th. Yeah, I'd say if they're going to be a better team, and we're really truly going to see if they're a better team, they'll have to run the ball successfully and keep Driscoll upright against LSU. If they can do that, then I'll start to believe that offensive line is significantly better. I know it is a little better than last year, but we'll find out just how much in a couple of weeks.
And that's the key point I wanted to make for the final question, and is that, first of all, Xavier Nixon has had his opportunities. He's pretty much almost whiffed it, as far as I'm concerned. He's a guy that has great promise, but he's not delivered, and we have not yet seen him in the bright lights, nor have we Driscoll. And when you stop and think about this murderer's row they got coming up, the 3, 4, 5, and 6 ranked teams, I believe, are coming up next. You talk about killer schedules. Now we're talking big boy football. It we're talking offensive, defensive line. You can't have a left tackle whiffing out there. And I think this is what did them in last year. They're going to have to step it up, and I think nobody knows that better than Will Muschamp.
Yeah, and you know what? When Muschamp talked earlier in the season about we went with Driscoll because he gives us the opportunity to make he has the opportunity to make some plays with his legs. This was the reason that they did that. Not Kentucky, not really Bowling Green or Texas A&M or Tennessee. I mean, it helped that he could do that. but it's because of the LSUs and the Florida States and the South Carolinas coming in with those big-time pass rushers and big-time defensive front. They need him to make plays with his legs this month, October coming up, not this month, but, obviously next month we're almost right on October's doorstep anyway. But yeah, I mean, look, they were in the same spot last year, 4-0, heading into a murderer's row. But they're better off this year than they were last year because they've got a quarterback that's healthy, because they've got a quarterback that they feel good about, and because their offensive line is a little bit better than last year. And, like last year, their season and Will Muschamp's season is going to be defined by what they do in October. Go 1-3 or 0-4 again, and all the goodwill you built up with those wins against Tennessee and Texas A&M on the road is going to evaporate.
We saw Jacoby Brissett for a little bit in the fourth quarter. You think he'll be redshirted?
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think he's not going to be here next year, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't imagine him sticking around. It clearly Driscoll is the guy. And if he plays as well as he has so far this year, the whole year, I can't see them going, okay, well, we're going to open up the quarterback competition in the spring. I mean, that job will be Driscoll's for next year, too. So, I mean, I think the kid wants to play, and I don't think we'll see him here next year. My guess, from what I understand, his mom wanted him to really go to Miami instead of coming up to Florida. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll see him with a transfer down to Miami.
Or maybe he'll go to Kansas and play for Charlie, who recruited him.
I don't know. Those South Florida kids, they may not like the cold over there.
I don't think he'll be looking at Lawrence for sure. Hey, Mike, I appreciate it very much. Thanks, buddy.
I will talk to you soon, guys.
All right, Mike DeRocco, ESPN Gator Nation, does good stuff for you there. Check him out. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. It's time to gather around the water cooler and talk about how about those Seminoles. Big game, they won it. What do you think? Coming up next, right here on the Voice of Ocala, Buddy Sports page.
1370 AM, 96.7 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And State Farm agent Angie Lewis is always there, too, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. At the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency, they go far beyond any slogan. Angie wants to help you adjust your insurance needs as your life evolves, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. They want to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. Each week on the Voice of Ocala, they feature a Good Neighbor of the Week, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. They're also big sports fans and sponsor our weekly State Farm State of the State report, which highlights a different college sports program each week. The Angie Lewis Agency of Ocala is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your Good Neighbor State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 291-2444.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
Lena, while I've got you on the phone, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Lena with ABC Fredericks Appliance. We are a Speed Queen dealer. If it's durable enough for the military, then it's more than durable enough for you. Speed Queen has one of the best warranties, and it fills up all the way. Stop in and see me, Lena, at ABC Fredericks, located just across the tracks on County Road 25 in Bellevue, or call 629-5181 or 347-2781 for more details. Oh, we also do in-home repairs.
So stop by and see Lena today.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source, 1370 a.m. and the new 96.7 FM.
Hi, my name is Doug Smith. I'm 51 years old. I was born with Down syndrome. When I was a kid, I was in the Special Olympics and showed the world that my mother's right. Love can do amazing things. Show some love to my new friend, Miami Dolphins running back Don Cunningham. He's going to tell you how you can help someone just like me by supporting the Special Olympics.
Thanks, Doug. Don Nottingham here, former Miami Dolphin. I'm here to talk to you about the Special Olympics golf tournament coming up in October 13th at Silver Spring Shores Country Club. Come on out and join us. Have a great day on the golf course while doing a really great thing for the community. For additional information, please contact 352-462-0380 or visit them at the web, www.soflmarioncounty.org.
Man, I love this guy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Lang of Lang Eye Care & Associates. I've used radio for years to reach my patients. Radio gives me the opportunity to speak with them directly. Without question, radio has helped me build one of the largest eye care facilities in Florida. Yes, I believe in radio. Radio gives results.
All right, back on the program. We've got a rookie on the board today. That's how it goes sometimes. You know, get out. It's like golf. You get out there and you haven't played in a while, you lose that swing, Hunter. So
I just shut the button off.
We can handle it.
Instead of turning it on, I'd shut it off.
We can handle it. All right. Here it is. Here's the Around the Water Cooler segment. What are people talking about today in sports? You know, what are they jabbering about? What are they complaining about? What are they, besides the officials, et cetera, besides not getting all their picks right? Try to make some topics that would make for interesting conversation that would require some intelligent dialogue, which may be asking for a lot in this group. I don't know.
Got it.
But here's a couple questions around the water cooler today, guys. All right, we saw Florida State and Clemson. Big win by the Noles, without question. Here's the thing. I heard even Christian Ponder saying, well, I was really kind of worried about it because we played so badly in big games before. I mean, come on, Knowles.
Yeah, Christian Ponder was part of that playing bad big games.
And Ken, ye of little faith. Come on, man. Now that you won the big game against Clemson, and it was yet to find out how good Clemson really was yet. Their defense didn't look too good. The big game was an excellent game to watch. Knowles won it big. E.J. Manuel made the national spotlight. How far up the ladder now, and I don't mean the polls, should the Seminoles go? Are they an elite team? Could they be in the BCS championship, as Kirby Street suggested? And then secondly, E.J. Manuel, is he worthy of being in the Heisman Trophy conversation right now? Who wants to go?
I'll go first. I don't know if E.J.'s worthy right now. It's too early in the season, I think, for me to decide. But I think Florida State will go up in the polls, primarily because they don't really play that many teams until they get to Florida at the end of the season.
That could hurt them, though.
It could hurt them, but I think once you get teams like LSU and Florida that are playing and they start losing, they'll gain traction in the polls.
They're going to have to hope Florida wins a lot of games. So when they play them, they're going to get a lot of gravitas by beating Florida if they can.
How does that point system actually work, buddy?
Who knows? Who knows how it works? But we will. It's going to be the point. You want your opponents to have the best record possible, so you have getting old fans now rooting for Florida every game, which is unusual.
Well, I have to say Florida State, from the way they looked up until the garbage time of the fourth quarter, where they almost let Clemson covered. They looked like the best team. Everybody says, well, Clemson was winning in the first half. But you never felt Florida State was out of the football game. And then they came out in the second half and just took it to Clemson. I think E.J. Manuel shows some signs of brilliance, but I'm not ready to say he's one of the top 5 elite players in all of college football right now. But Florida State, that defense of Florida State, that front 7 may be one of the best front 7 I've seen at Florida State since Ron Simmons was there.
Well, we said if they can get their defense playing as good as they can, the offensive line, it was a little spotty at times. It did okay. They get their playmakers playing, and Manuel can play, and they can run the football. How about Thompson? How about Wilder? He carried about 9 players on his back one time in a scrum.
Don't you just feel great for Thompson, though? Broken back last year, and
Great
now
story.
this year he's just running all over everybody.
I mean, he was a stud. He did not come down. So if they get that kind of running game going, it means nothing but good things for Manuel.
The problem with Florida State, and it's nothing they have any control over, Virginia Tech, not as good as everybody thought they were going to do. Lost already to Pittsburgh, a team they shouldn't have lost to. Teams Florida State have to play aren't very good in the ACC. And that's no fault of theirs except the fact that they're in the almost competitive conference. But like you said, where Florida beats LSU, okay, that's great. Florida beats LSU, they're 5-0. But they still got Georgia to play, they still got South Carolina to play, and they still got Florida State to play. But Florida State beat Clemson. Their next huge game, if they get a huge game, is if Florida wins 9 games.
Of course, here's the deal, though, that if Florida could somehow win 2 of those next 4 games against top 5 teams, they're going to be a ranked team, and they're going to be ranked pretty good, and they'll bring a lot of points. And that whenever FSU wins, if they do, they're going to get a lot more for beating a good Florida team.
But that's my problem is FSU has so much that is under no control of their own. Florida knows year in and year out they're going to play a pretty tough schedule because of the conference they play in. It's hit or miss in the ACC whether they play a tough schedule or not.
As my grandma used to say, them's the breaks.
Well, there you go.
All right, so now we'll follow that. How good are the Florida Gators? If you heard us talking to Mike Duraco, there's a lot of reluctance to say Florida is a really good football team, primarily because we saw this last year, 4-0 out of the box, got killed in October. Now they play the 3, 4, 5, and 6 ranked teams coming up. They're going to have, and here's the deal. Playing against a team like LSU, where they're very physical, can get you beat up. You don't remember Alabama. You play Alabama, they wipe you out for several weeks.
Yeah, they hurt Johnny after 1 quarter, and you were done.
Yeah, so this is going to be a residual there. I mean, look, this offensive line's a big question mark, just as Mike said. Hunter, how good is Florida?
Are we grading them, buddy?
You can if you like.
I'd say B- right now.
All right. Any particular reason?
Just because of, like you said, there's a question on the offensive line, and I don't know how good our defense truly is against an athletic opponent. We'll find out on October the 6th when they play LSU, because LSU has athletes, buddy. They have players. Those guys can play.
Well, Hunter's entirely correct that you don't really know yet, but just let me interject this. Texas A&M, not a pushover. And they went into Texas A&M and won that football game. Tennessee, whether you like Tennessee's defense or not or anything, they got a pro quarterback, and they got receivers that are going to play on Sundays on that team. And the University of Florida secondary, they made changes in the second half that squashed that Tennessee offense. And that's pro quarterback and pro receivers that they're going to be people playing on Sundays on that offense. In Tennessee, they did that. Then they came back and beat a Kentucky team the way they were supposed to beat them. They didn't play them close. They blew them off the board. Does that mean Florida's a great football team right now? No, but I think it's a much better 4-0 this year than the 4-0 last year you knew was an inflated 4-0. This 4-0 has a little weight behind it.
I agree with both of you. I agree with you, Hunter. They're about a B-. Here's the thing that brings hope. LSU's offense isn't that good. How many did they score against Auburn? Not that many.
10-7.
Okay, it was 12-10. I think.
12-10.
Something like that. Anyway, and then Florida's defense can be pretty good, So I think this is so that means could Florida beat LSU? Yes, Florida could beat LSU. I'm not really make that prediction right now, but at least there's some hope. Asked me that 3 weeks ago, I would have said no way.
But did you feel like last year when they were 4-0 that they had a shot at winning?
No.
We said on this radio program that the best we thought they would do was 2-2, and we thought that wasn't even that probable.
That would be a good.
That would be a good October if they went 2-2.
Right. So it might be a pretty good October. Now go 2-2.
But I think I think I give them a shot at going 2-2 in this October. We really didn't think they would go 2-2 last October.
If Florida beats South Carolina and Georgia, and that's part of the 2-2, they've had a great October.
A great October.
Yeah.
Especially from the fan base. Fan base, I really think it was.
Yeah.
You know what, though? You ask how good Florida is? The ELO Chess computer ranking.
Who?
Well, it's a computer ranking used by the BCS to help come up with the BCS rankings. My good friend Tim Casey pointed me to this poll yesterday.
Yeah.
The ELO Chess, which only takes winning and losing into, they don't care about margin of victory, only wins and losses. Alabama ranked second in the country.
So LSU was first, huh?
LSU, sixth in the country.
Florida State,
ninth in the country.
Wow, I can't wait to hear number one.
Oregon,
they're number one.
Fifth in the country.
I run out of teams here, Hunter.
It's getting crazy.
The University of Florida ranked number one in the country.
You got to be kidding me.
University of Florida. They rank, if you do the BCS, the pure points, which is a predictor, and the ELO Chess together, Florida's sixth in the country behind Alabama, Oregon, LSU, Texas, and South Carolina. But if you use just the ELO Chess, which only does winning and losing, Florida's ranked number one in the country.
You tell me Tim Casey ranks on number one?
No, Tim Casey's on sort of a crazy poll, too.
Okay, there you go. All right, got a final question. This has to be a short one. We'll wrap it up here. It's Ryder Cup week. Is Brandt Snedeker the best golfer on the planet? Well, he was over the weekend. And now the Tiger Woods is back and playing on the Ryder Cup team. They've only won once with Tiger on the team. What kind of shot does this team have against the Europeans? Tom?
I think that the only reason I care about this is because somebody at Florida likes golf, because they scheduled this as an off week from Florida. So,
Buddy Alexander made the schedule out.
Well, there you go. So I'm worried about it now, and I think that the Americans have a great chance to win the Ryder Cup. I think that right now the chasm between the two isn't as big as it's been, and I think Europe's had the advantage for the better part of 8 to 10 years.
See, I'll take the flip side of that argument, and I'll say I think Europe's got a better chance purely because the Americans are tired. They've played the past 4 out of 5 weeks. You know, you look at Tiger Woods.
So are the Europeans, by the way. Most
of them have on this tour, too.
Yes, but only about 7 or 8 actually competed in the last event here. And Tiger Woods looked like he was exhausted the back nine yesterday. And I don't think, I think we'll have a good showing, but I think Europe really has another chance to beat us. I hope we win, of course, but it'll be close, I think. Closer than you think.
Rory McIlroy is not playing his best golf either right now, so that might be a thing. So we'll see who can make the putts and who can team up and what are the pairings going to be. We'll find out. Captain Davis Love will make those decisions. We'll take a break, come back, wrap up the hour with France Beard talking more Gator football right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.7 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Got my chips cashed in, keep trucking like the doo-dah man.
You know about Brunch on Broadway at Pie, right? Every Saturday at 10 a.m., Buddy and I broadcast Buddy Sports Page live from Pie on Broadway. Now I want to invite you to Crimestoppers, Ocala's beer festival, also at Pie on Broadway. It begins at 2 p.m. Saturday, September 29th. Go to pieonbroadway.com for the details. But wait, there's more. It's football season, and that means tailgating. Pie is your tailgating headquarters. They offer platters to go and packaged beer. Pie will host your party as well. So whether it's Saturday brunch, Crimestoppers, tailgating, or you just need a place to party, Pie on Broadway is your answer. Also add Pie as a friend on Facebook to see all their daily specials, or log on to pieonbroadway.com for details on all upcoming events. And Buddy and I will see you at 10 a.m. on Saturdays for Brunch on Broadway at Pie.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills. Just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Dr. Terry L. Orbuck, a therapist featured on Fox Morning News and a columnist for Psychology Today. She's coming on to talk to us about her book, Finding Life Again, 6 Simple Steps to a New and Happy Relationship.
Beth Kalmeyer is the Vice President of Constituent Services for the National Alzheimer's Association. She'll be speaking about the Alzheimer's Awareness Month and the Go Purple movement.
And then Ocala Open Forum, where you get to call in and exercise your freedom of speech and your freedom of the press.
Have all of your gardening questions answered by Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on You've Got a Garden.
And then we'll speak to Carolyn Biddle and Joe Fowler. They're coming out to host their own show called Realty Reality to answer your questions about buying and selling a home.
And then Joe Reichel will be on the air on his show Damage Control, answering all of your questions about damage recovery.
And then Dr. Michael Raphael Marino is coming on. He's a doctor of family medicine. He's coming on to speak about the book, The 17-Day Plan to Stop Aging. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live.
Here we go. Hi, this is Josh. And this is Brad. Join us every Friday at 9 here on WOCA for our show, Winging It. It's all about aviation and such things. Basically, just winging it. It's a chance for me to rebel against the orderly way of flying. We will also be giving away Discovery flights and other prizes. So tune in on Fridays here on WOCA The Source. Or watch us online at www.woca.com.
Okay, let's go home.
Life's journey has many ups and downs, but you can take comfort in the knowledge that Robert's Funeral Home is here to serve you and your family with loving care and dignity. The Roberts family has been providing their caring services since 1898 and offer traditional, custom, cremation, and veteran services. Pre-made arrangements are also available. Roberts Funeral Homes. Great funeral homes serve great people.
Honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you.
All right, back in the voicemail count of Buddy Martin Sports page. Time now to join Francis Beard up Gainesville Way. Like the rest of us, he's probably wondering what's going to happen to this Gator football team now that it enters into the threshold of pain. October last wasn't so good. How will October this year be, France?
Well, let's face it, they do go into this October with healthy quarterbacks. And that's a better sign than last year, because if last year when John Brantley went down, any chance they had to have a better than break-even season went down, because, as you know, it was really until mid-November before he was back to being the same John Brantley again. And last year was a painful time, a painful October. I think this year this team is better prepared for it, and in some respects, buddy, I think last year helped them get ready for this. I think they've been through tough times, and I think this is a team that is, having endured tough times, is ready to have some good times.
There are a few sprigs of optimism sort of jumping up here in the last couple of weeks. I'm hearing it from people like Doug Johnson, the former quarterback, who thinks that Muschamp is exactly the right guy, who feels like he's doing it the right way. He says the players are loved and respected. He is loved by the players and respected by the players. He says the combination is hard to get both those. And then I heard a good friend of yours and mine, named Norm, who is telling me today on the email, I like this team. I may hang around another year or two. So there is some green grass there and some hope. I think this team has been lacking, and they've been needing something to sort of jumpstart them. As you say, they have it going to October with a healthy quarterback and a couple of weeks to get healthier. playing the 3, 4, 5, and 6 teams in the country in a row. Unheard of. I do think they have a chance to win 1 or 2 of those games, and I wouldn't have said this 2 weeks ago. They got a shot against LSU.
Oh, I definitely think they've got a shot against LSU. LSU is a game that, let's face it, a lot of things are going to have to go right for the Gators. But unlike last year going into the LSU game, Florida couldn't afford a single mistake. This is a team, I think, that has already proven that they can make a mistake in a game, and it won't be the pin that bursts the bubble. They can make a mistake, they can recover from it, they can weather the storm, so to say, and still come out and play good football. And if there's one thing that I think that I've been encouraged by, it has been that ability to weather storms. I see Muschamp making good adjustments at the half. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think he made those same adjustments last year, but I don't think he had a team that was mature enough to handle making adjustments. I think this year they're mature. He makes the adjustments, and now we see that they comply. They do what the coach says, and good things happen. So I like what I'm seeing so far from them. But have they really been smacked in the face by a good team? No, they haven't. And that's what's going to happen here, because they're going to play LSU, then they're going to play Vanderbilt up there, and Vanderbilt doesn't look as strong as we thought they might look at when the season began. Then they've got South Carolina, which I think is really, really good. I think South Carolina is a better football team than Georgia, and South Carolina might be a better team than LSU. So they've got three out of 4 games that they're going to have to bring their A game. That being said, there's a bigger margin for error this year than there was for last year. That's good. That is reason to have good hope in this team.
Yeah, and as you point out, they do have a respite between those 3, 4, 5, and 6. And, of course, 6 being, the ultimate game is going to end up being Florida State, for Florida State at least, because Florida State's schedule is such they can't get any real points because of their schedule. If they beat Florida, a Florida team that is, say, knocked off of South Carolina, or maybe a Georgia, or maybe LSU, is going to get them a lot more stature.
Well, Florida State is a good football team, but it's like I told somebody yesterday. Let's don't forget, it is the ACC. This isn't like they faced an SEC opponent. Clemson's really good, but this is not an SEC schedule, an SEC opponent. In one respect, this is kind of like the old days for Florida State, when they only had to win one ball game against one good team, and then they could gear up for the finale against the Gators. And in some respects, that's kind of like that right now. Is they've beaten the one good team on their schedule. Now all they got to do is stay healthy until November.
All right, Francis, appreciate it. We'll wrap it up right there. We'll talk to you Thursday. Have a good day.
Take care.
Franz Beard. All right, thanks to our guests today, including Franz Beard. Mike DeRocco joined us a little bit earlier on the program, and Jay Thompson, professor of political science and social science at CF, earlier talking about the presidential race. Also, our thanks to our team here, Tom Schmitz, now doubling and running the board for JJ, who's away going to school this hour, like every good guy should be doing at his age, and Hunter Thompson Turner in the house with us. You guys have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the show. Talk to you tomorrow at same time, same station. I'm Mark.
You've been listening to The Voice of Ocala on WOCA. The Voice of Ocala can be heard weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1370 AM, 96.7 FM. And you can also watch and listen live on WOCA.com. Remember to also listen to AM Ocala Live with Larry and Robin weekdays from 7 a.m. to noon on WOCA, 1370 AM, 96.7 FM, The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And State Farm agent Angie Lewis is always there, too, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. At the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency, they go far beyond any slogan. Angie wants to help you adjust your insurance needs as your life evolves, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. They want to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. Each week on The Voice of Ocala, they feature a Good Neighbor of the Week, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. They're also big sports fans and sponsor our weekly State Farm State of the State report, which highlights a different college sports program each week. The Angie Lewis Agency of Ocala is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your Good Neighbor State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 291-2444.
Everyone wants to experience championship golf at affordable rates. Ocala Golf Club on Silver Springs Boulevard offers just that. 5 sets of tees provide golfers of all abilities a challenging yet enjoyable experience. Take advantage of the Sunset Special every day after 5 p.m. Play and ride for just $15. Just want a little practice? We offer a full driving range, practice greens, and bunkers for your training needs. After your round, stop at the 19th hole for a bite to eat or a cold beverage. Ocala Golf Club has a fully stocked pro shop for all of your golfing needs, from clubs, balls, shoes, and all your golfing apparel. Ocala Golf Club also has banquet and meeting rooms available for your next family or business function. Call 352-401-6917 for rates and availability, or book online at www.ocalagolfclub.com. Ocala Golf Club, a championship and affordable experience.
Marion County's information station, WOCA, News Talk 1370.
It's Saturday morning football season. Time to kick it off with some great food and one of your favorite beverages. But where to go? Well, try Brunch on Broadway. Check out Football Saturdays at Pie on Broadway every week at 10 a.m. for the perfect blend of football, food, and fun. At Pie on Broadway in downtown Ocala, we'll get you ready for all the big games and the live broadcast of Buddy Martin's Saturday Sports page on WOCA AM and FM. Saturdays are also good days to stroll around beautiful downtown Ocala. Head to the farm market on the square and then enjoy Brunch on Broadway just in time to watch ESPN's Game Day on one of our TVs. Of course, Pie is also a great place to dine for lunch and dinner the rest of the week, too. But Football Saturday at Pie on Broadway is special. Pie on Broadway, where you get to the college spirit with Brunch on Broadway as your pre-kickoff menu.
Kenny's Place Nursery has been helping special adults in our community by giving them an opportunity to engage in meaningful employment while providing us all with an amazing assortment of beautiful flowers and plants for our yards and gardens. On Saturday, October 13th, Ocala and Marion County can say thank you to the folks at Kenny's Place and have a great barbecue lunch at the same time. For just $7, you'll take out a half chicken dinner complete with beans, coleslaw, and a roll. That's Saturday, October 13th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. at Kenny's Place Nursery. Amazing plants, delicious food, and some beautiful people. So don't miss the barbecue at Kenny's Place Nursery on October 13th. To get to Kenny's Place, just head south out of Ocala and then turn left at the Sheriff's Substation or give them a call at 867-1213 for better directions. That's 867-1213 for Kenny's Place Nursery.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. I'm so excited to be on in Ocala, where I visit twice a year because I have relatives in Ocala, and it's great that my show is on every evening at 6 p.m. right here on WOCA, The Source.
News, sports, weather, talk. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Now, I'm Richard Cantu.
What killed the panda cub? Examination of the 6-day-old cub found dead Sunday at the National Zoo in Washington found liver abnormalities and fluid in its abdomen. Cause of death, though, won't be known for another 2 weeks. The long arm of the U.S. law. The European Court of Human Rights has ruled that radical Muslim cleric Abu Hamza al-Masri can be extradited to the U.S., where he faces terrorism charges. Al-Masri could be deported from Britain in 2 weeks. The world's leaders are in New York City for the annual General Assembly of the United Nations. President Obama addresses the world body tomorrow. The White House promising a bold and forthright address touching on Iran and Israel, among many other subjects. The Arkansas Valley State Prison in southeast Colorado is on lockdown. A prison spokeswoman says some kind of disturbance involving an inmate while breakfast was being prepared left a female kitchen employee dead and another one seriously injured. This is ABC News.
Hello. Eyes on the road, I'll talk, you drive. Just wanted to pop in to remind you that every Honda certified used car comes with an outstanding limited warranty. And you know what they say about outstanding limited warranties. They're outstanding. Anyway, just letting you know in case you were thinking about upgrading. And if you're not thinking about it, you should be. Honda certified used cars are awesome. And you do like awesome, don't you? Of course you do, because you're awesome. All right, I'm out of here. Oh, and see your Honda dealer for limited warranty details.
An ounce of prevention, 5 quarts of oil, another year on the road. However you measure car care, get more at Midas for just $19.99.